Hi, I'm Mo, and I have abandoned my traditional ways for the capitalistic uprising.
And I'm TJ, and I have a profound desire to get invited to some parties.
And this is...
It's still new to us, damn it!
Welcome to A Soon to Us, damn it. I'm Mo, he's TJ, he just said, and we're here to watch every movie ever made to be invited to all parties.
We've watched one off the beaten path for today, haven't
Yes, we have, yes.
Yeah.
Will we be invited to some parties because of this movie? Probably not.
we? Probably not,
Probably
especially
not.
after people hear it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Probably not, but, there's a chance.
There's always a chance.
There's always a chance.
That's right.
Halloween passed us by.
Oh my
Maybe
God.
Thanksgiving can open the door.
Maybe, yeah, I know. I do cook a good mac and cheese.
And I can bring a fork.
Very good.
Very good.
Every party needs a fork, right?
Every party does need a fork, TJ. That is true. That is the old saying, as you know. Well, TJ, we have come to our last movie of the series. Of season 5?
5, I think.
Season
Yeah.
5. Let's call it season 5.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, definitely. And I say this is probably the best season.
This has been a season.
This has been a season, yes.
Yeah. Wide variance of films that
Yes.
despite having 3 by the same director, there's been a wide variance in films that we watched here.
That is true.
I guess genre-wise, they've pretty much all been dramas.
I think so, yeah.
Right?
Well, one's a comedy. We're talking
Yeah,
technically
okay.
a comedy. I don't know. We talked about it last time.
There's
yeah.
definitely some comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob Roberts was a
Yeah.
comedy-ish too.
True. And I guess this has probably been the most, I don't know, I think we've been doing okay podcasting. And we started from dog shit, went to shit. No, sorry, we went dog shit, bird shit, shit. That's human shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we went from pee, then went pee. I think now we're at cum. So we're getting up
Okay.
there. We're
Good.
getting up there, yes.
Good, I can't wait
human
to
body
see-
fluid, human fluids to bird fluids. We're getting up there, okay?
I'm going to share that breakdown with my family on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, definitely. How's your podcast going? Oh, we're at cum level right now. So
Right. We've reached the cum stage.
yes. I want to say hi to my dad, who does listen to this show. So anything I do say bad about him, he will hear. I don't know if he'll retain it, but he will hear it.
Oh, your dad's great.
yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
nice.
And also hi to Trevor, a new subscriber who was at my 10-year high school reunion, and I subscribed to a podcast for him.
Hey, Trevor.
Hi, Trevor. How you doing?
Glad to have you.
Glad to have you. Well, Trevor, since this could be your first time listening, if you do decide to listen and not just ignore us, we do something called Banter Time, and we're about to enter it right now. Highway to the Banter Zone. Bow, bow, bow. Highway to the Banter Zone. That was
One of us needs
that
some
wasn't
musical
fake.
talent.
Oh god. Ugh. Maybe I should just stop.
No.
What? No, I should hit the high note.
Oh, I thought you meant stop singing
No,
together.
we should keep on singing it together, but just stop at the high note.
and just leave me out to dry like
Yes,
I just did to you?
Yeah, exactly. And we just say banter, and that's it. And we end it, and then we just enter banter time.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
We can see how that goes.
I don't know if I can keep on hitting that high note.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, only Kenny Loggins can.
that's true.
We could write to him, see if he'll record something for us.
That's true. That is true.
Invite us to a party.
Definitely. Okay, well, we've now entered the banter zone, which means it is now time for banter time. TJ, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. Haven't been up to too much. I saw Joker too.
Oh, how was that?
I thought it was fine.
Really?
I really didn't see what all the. I mean, I went into it expecting the worst.
Even like the hour court scene.
I liked the hour court scene.
Wow.
This movie had the appeal of like the how they say like Freddy got fingered is like a big fu to the studio system.
Yeah.
To me, that's kind of what this
That's
was. This is a
Exactly
big-
what it was, TJ.
this
You're
is a-
correct. That's the director
Yeah,
wanted it
this
to
is
be.
a big fu to the people that said, "Wow, that character is totally me," and he flips it on his head and says, "You don't want to be this character."
No, I think
It's great.
He wanted the movie to be, this movie you like.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like it. That was
I
his
think
whole
that
thing.
there's some truth to that, but it's really actually a decent. I think it's a decent look at somebody who's genuinely emotionally disturbed, that's being revered by the public for something he should not be revered for, and the second that he says, "No, I shouldn't be revered for this," they turn on him. Spoiler alert. It's not a great movie. It's not even a good movie. It's not a movie that should
Not even a
have
good
ever-
musical.
No,
No.
it's not a movie that should have even been made. But Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga are so good that I enjoyed it.
Oh, wow.
I enjoyed it. I probably will never watch it again. But but I still
Because you
remember
related
most
to
of
the
it.
Joker so much, CJ, that you're like, I can't watch this anymore.
No, I was proud of Todd. I was happy that Todd Phillips did what he wanted to do. He said,
Alright.
I think he figured that they were going to make a sequel with or without him, or at least they really wanted him to. And he said, you want a sequel so fucking bad? Here you go. This is what I want to do.
Okay.
And he did it.
All right.
But just for Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga alone, I thought it was okay. Again, I think that my perception was going into it as, why did they even make this movie? There was no reason to make this movie. I don't know. I was entertained enough by it.
Okay.
And I think the negative reviews are wildly blown out of
Okay,
proportion.
TJ. Now, TJ, you might be the only podcaster to have this stance on it.
Fine. I'm probably the only one that doesn't like the Star Wars sequel trilogy as well.
Yes, you're probably the only one too. Yes, definitely, yeah.
Let's see, I also, around spooky season, I watched through it's funny, I have being in these grad classes, I have enough time to watch one podcast movie a month.
Yeah.
I watched the first 8 Halloween movies so that I could send a really detailed 5-page ranking of
Yeah.
it to my cousins and brother on Halloween.
Yeah.
None of them asked for that. None of them wanted to hear my thoughts. But I sent them a very detailed ranking. I did not get to the Rob Zombie ones. I already know how I feel about those. And the David Gordon Green trilogy I have seen recently. So I didn't need to rewatch those. But I watched the first 1 through 8
Okay, let me try to guess every single title of the Halloween franchise.
in the order they came in.
In the order they came in. Let me
Okay.
try to guess it, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, Halloween. That's the first movie. Then
Correct.
Halloween 2. Mm-hmm. No subtitle.
No subtitle.
No subtitle. Halloween 3. Season of the Witch.
That's right.
Halloween 4. Michael Returns. Or Michael Myers. Was it Michael Returns? Is it just...
The Return of Michael
The
Myers.
Return of Michael Myers. So I was kind of close to that. Number 5. Halloween. Let's Go Dancing.
Close. It's The Revenge of Michael
The
Myers.
Revenge of Michael Myers. Yes. Oh, that's the one. No, is that the one where he comes back to life when one of the kids from Welcome Back, Kotter? No, that's
No, that's Jason Lives. You're
Jason
thinking Friday
Lives.
the
I'm
13th.
confusing.
Yeah. Horseshack.
When Horseshack
gets
meets
his
Jason
heart
back to
ripped.
life.
Yeah, he
Yes.
gets his heart ripped out.
Okay, Halloween 6.
Starring. Oh,
Potatoes ready.
oven's
I'm leaving that in.
preheated, yeah.
I'm leaving that in. Halloween 6. Let's go to the neighbor's house.
The Curse of Michael.
The Curse
Myers.
of Michael Myers. Okay.
So there's a running joke in the that has been pointed out long before this that you have Return, Revenge, and Curse of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
There are also years before there were the Return, Revenge, and Curse of the Pink Panther.
I definitely think they did that. I definitely think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And fun fact: The Curse of Michael Myers stars Paul Rudd before his fame from Clueless.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and he's really bad in it.
Okay, so that's 6. So there's 2 more.
Of the ones that I watched, yeah.
H2O, does that one count?
Yes.
Okay, so H2O, Halloween.
Yes.
That's the 7th one, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay. 8th one. What's the 8th
I think the most generic fucking horror movie title you can possibly imagine, and that's the just
Halloween.
hell, not even horror title, but just the most uninspired sequel title you could possibly imagine.
Again? Halloween again.
Resurrection.
Halloween Resurrection, yes.
That's the one with Busta Rhymes going trick or treat, motherfucker. And then he kung fu fights Michael Myers.
Hell yeah.
And beats him.
What?
It pretty much beats him, yeah. That was ranked at last. Do you want me to run through my rankings real
Yeah,
quick?
sure. I just find it amazing. Do you think Michael Myers is just like, what am I doing with this shit? Like, because he's like, he thinks, right? He's not just like a regular zombie. He thinks.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one. This is the one franchise that, like, at least with Friday the 13th, you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
None of them are particularly high quality, but they're fun. You know what to expect, and you're gonna have a good time. Halloween starts at such a high,
Yeah.
and it didn't need any sequels. The only
Yeah.
reason it had sequels is because it realized, well, fuck, we started this whole thing. We'd be stupid not to cash in on this, and they
Yeah.
did a pretty poor job overall. But first, obviously, I have the first. The original one's great.
Yeah.
Then I have Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I
course.
fucking love that movie. It's a rare type of movie that is made better both by what it actually does correctly and what it does incorrectly.
Yeah.
There is so much bad in that movie. Watching Tom Atkins hook up with a girl that's literally 25 years younger than him is just so wild to me. Why did John Carpenter is the best wingman to Tom Atkins?
I don't know. Well,
Jamie Lee Curtis in The Fog.
He didn't direct that one. He produced it, right?
Yeah,
Or
he
something like
produced
that?
it.
Yeah.
He and Deborah Hill wrote and produced it or whatever.
He wrote it?
I believe that.
Wow.
I believe he had a. He doesn't get the credit for it, but he came up with the story, as far as I know. Him and Deborah Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's a Halloween tale about saving the world from the Irish. It's great. Then I have Halloween 2, the original. Didn't need to be made, but it's fine. Halloween 2018, solid recommend. Halloween Ends, the most controversial one, in which Michael's killing persona. That's the most recent one.
Oh.
His killing persona is passed to somebody else.
People have a lot of controversy on that.
A lot of people hate it.
Yeah.
But again, to me, I'm not as attached to the Michael Myers character. Try some different shit, and I like.
Well,
it.
I don't know. I've heard some people talk about hey, it's a good way, because Michael, if this was, forget all the other sequels and just when you finish the end at the first one, right? So it's he is not some magic man or anything like that. He can't just come back.
Not supposed to be.
Not supposed to be. He's just a regular human being that is that lived a long time. So he's old as shit.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that somebody can just beat him up now and just take his spot. So I don't know.
I was fine with it.
From the review I saw of it, I'm okay, that kind of makes sense. I'm not gonna say I'm still not. I never seen it. I'm still not gonna say it made a good movie, but at least it made somewhat of sense.
It's far from perfect. It's
Yeah.
not even a great movie, but I like when they try different things because, frankly, again, you got to switch things up from time to time. I then had Halloween Kills, the David Gordon Green trilogy, all lumped together. They're very consistent, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
That one is over the top violent at times, and I kind of like that sometimes as a breath of fresh air. Then I have 4, The Return of Michael Myers. A lot of people love that one in the Halloween movie community. They love Return of Michael Myers. I think it's pretty mid, but that's just me. Same with Halloween H2O. I think it's kind of mid. It's got a lot of post-Scream-esque dialogue, which hasn't aged the best. It's fine, though. Jamie Lee Curtis is good in it. Then I have Curse of Michael Myers. Both versions, the producer's cut and the theatrical cut, which is more jazzed up and violent, whereas the producer's cut explains the cult shit going on more. I don't know, I'll keep it brief, but Return, Revenge, and The Curse are referred to as the Thorn Trilogy, where each one kind of introduces new elements that they don't even elaborate on or understand where it's going to go, and they just say it's the next guy's problem. Long story short, Michael Myers is actually a tool of murder and mayhem used by a cult that worships a constellation, the Thorn constellation in the sky, and Paul Rudd in the producer's cut literally stops him by arranging a set of stones in the pattern of the constellation, and Michael Myers cannot walk past it. And you just see this image of Michael Myers standing there, just looking like a sad sack. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Then I have Revenge of Michael Myers, just kind of boring movie. Then I have Halloween 2 Rob Zombie, and then followed by Halloween 1 Rob Zombie. I'm not a big fan of the Rob Zombie aesthetic.
Is it basically just gross murder? That's what
Yeah,
I was
he wanted to make Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's been open about that.
So he said he couldn't get the rights to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so he just made,
for whatever reason he wasn't.
he just made
given,
Halloween the
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I respect Rob Zombie. He's far more talented than I am.
Yeah.
I don't personally care much for his aesthetic.
Dracula.
That's a dope song. I like
Cool.
that. And then at the end I had Halloween Resurrection. That's just a really bad one. That's with Busta Rhymes and a reality TV show. It's terrible. Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Maybe I'll make a blog and post that there because I had a fun time writing that. Yeah, literally that came in at 5.5 pages that I
Wow.
wrote. Yeah.
Did your cousins read it at all?
I think actually they did skim it. They humored me.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd sent them to a similar list of my rankings of the Friday the 13th films back on the last Friday the 13th.
So the next one will have to be the Nightmare on Elm Street films, which...
Yeah, I don't know what holiday I would send those on, though. Maybe I'll just read them at Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that, yeah.
Ding, ding, just hit my glass. Ding, ding. I'd like to read this to you all.
Number 1, Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 2, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors.
That's right.
Yes.
I might even put Dream Warriors over.
Wow.
I know.
People do love Dream Warriors.
That's a discussion for another time. Freddy's more Freddy in that one by
Yeah.
that point. They're both excellent, though.
Yeah.
But anyway, aside from that spooky season, really quickly, I did watch the first Phantasm. That was good. I never really realized knew what Phantasm was about, and I enjoyed
I know
that.
it's about a silver ball and an old man.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Pretty good, though. I'd recommend that. That was a fun movie. I'll check the sequels out one of these days. And I can't remember if I mentioned it last time, but I did watch the original Suspiria.
Yeah.
Hell of a soundtrack by Goblin.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all I have, though. The only WWE pay-per-view was actually the Saudi one. I did, what is it, Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
I did not watch that, actually. I did not get around to watching that. I do know who won, but I don't want to comment on any of the matches because I don't know anything.
Yeah.
So, your turn.
Okay. Well, TJ watched quite a few movies. I watched The Music Man for the first time.
Hey.
Because I don't know. I just like.
How
I
was
guess
that?
I want a musical. It's great.
Yeah?
It's fun. They speak in like egads and stuff. Except I hated that part. The mayor's daughter. Every time she says something at the very end, she says egads.
Oh, God.
I'm like, no. Everything else I'm fine with. The old timey slang I'm fine with, except for that line I don't like. But
Okay.
the fun musical. The numbers are great. I can see why Conan O'Brien's obsessed with that movie.
Is he really?
Yeah, because he wrote Monorail.
He
And-
did? That's
yeah,
true.
so The Music Man.
Oh, that's
And he
true,
did,
yeah.
Because he always wanted to play Henry Hill, but it's a very hard role to sing You Got Trouble, because you got to speak in very fast, like, I think I'm authentic piedemeter. I said that completely wrong, but you got to speak really fast, like, you got trouble here, capital city. It's like you got to speak really fast.
Yeah.
So if you mess that up, it's just going to be hard to keep on track.
That's it. Okay, I
Yeah.
gotcha.
I figured out Chapupi is from The Music Man. I did not know that.
Oh, are you serious?
Yes.
I never knew what that was from.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I found out Buddy Hackett, one of the stars of The Music Man, got famous by doing a Chinese man accent and doing a Chinese man routine,
Oh, great.
which I can tell you was not racially sensitive back in the 1940s.
There was no consideration for
No,
anyone else's
no,
feelings,
not
so-
one bit. No, no.
Okay.
So that stinks. But he's dead now, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't think people are like going to be upset. Like, oh, that Buddy Hackett. Oh.
You know, it is, yeah, I don't, there's
Yeah.
nothing else you can do about it.
Shirley Jones, the one who plays the main lead, was part of the Partridge Family. That has no relevance to me at all. I thought that'd be interesting to know. And a young Ronnie Howard's in it,
Oh,
and he has a lisp.
nice.
That's his own key character. Yep.
Okay.
So go see The Music Man. It's a whole lot of fun,
Good to know, good to
Yeah.
know.
especially with like old timey slang. It's just amazing.
I do like old-timey slang.
Yeah.
Now watch Soul Man. Have you seen Soul Man?
The movie where C. Thomas Howard
Yeah.
turns into a black man.
Yeah, that one.
No,
I haven't either.
no, I've not.
It'll have to be on the list one
That
day.
will have to be on the list. For my spooky season, I watched a few films. I said fumes. That's weird. A few films. I watched An American Werewolf in London, which
Oh.
I think like if I actually have a talent to write a movie or make a movie, that would be the movie I would make. It's the perfect blend of humor, drama, horror,
Yeah.
and music. Actually,
That's a good movie.
yeah, it's just so good. Like, is it really a plot to it? No, it's mostly just a man who realizes whose friend died of a werewolf, and he becomes a werewolf. That's about it. That's the whole plot of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But just the dialogue and the characters, they just lift up the movie so much it's so good.
That's all you need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is really good. Yeah,
Sometimes when the execution is just all on point.
yeah, especially the gore. Like once you see those dead bodies pop up, my favorite scene in the whole movie. Of course, you see Griffin Dunn. You see him three times in the movie. Each time he gets more and more decay because he's a spirit roaming the earth. Because I forgot the reason why they were roaming Earth, but since they were killed by the werewolf, they had to end the bloodline. So my guess that's the reason why. Because if he had still alive, the ghosts are still attached to it. I believe that's what the movie explanation of
It's been
it.
a long time, but that sounds familiar
Yeah,
to
so
me.
yeah. My favorite part of it is when the main character who goes into a porno theater just like to sit down or something, all the victims he killed before that when he became the wolf for the first time come visit him, and it's all funny. And like Griffin Dunn explains the situation to them, and it's like and they all explain like you got to kill yourself, you got to do it, and some of them are funny, and it's just like yeah, it's really good. Yeah, so that was my favorite part of the whole movie. Bud Abbott and Lou Costello meet Frankenstein. That's the full movie
Oh,
time.
that's cool. I've never seen that.
I'll explain this a little bit later on, but I just had to give my dad a break while watching horror movies because I made him watch a horror movie that he does not like at all. So
Which one?
I'll get to that a little bit
Oh,
later on.
okay.
with this,
Sounds
yeah.
good.
But I said, okay, why not? Just throw the old man a bone. And I also like Albert Costello meets Frankenstein. I'm not sure if this is if this one's the classic or the Wolfman one's the classic when they meet the Wolfman. I don't remember.
I feel like the Wolfman is what I always hear. No, I think both. I think both of them.
This is also good. Meet the Frankenstein is also a good one.
Good.
But I haven't meet the Wolfman yet, so
You know that at one point Paramount wanted to do a Cheech and Chong meets Jason Voorhees.
Really?
Like in the 80s. Or it was just a brainstormed idea. Actually, Paramount might not have wanted to do it. I think it was the director of Part 6, arguably the best one, the one that actually injected a little humor. That's right. Tom McLaughlin, he wanted to do that. And
That'd be
Paramount said
awesome.
no.
That'd be like a throwback to the throwback to this. That'd be great.
That was exactly real quick tangent. Jason Lives, the Part 6. Tom McLaughlin made that. He was very heavily inspired by the Universal monster movies, and he made it purposely that you could watch it in black and white and it wouldn't look off.
Oh.
And I have done that before, and it actually is cool as heck
cool.
to watch that movie in black and white. It
Yeah.
starts in that graveyard and
I love when directors
rain.
do that because sometimes it does make the film better. Like I watched a movie called, I don't know if the director meant to make it in black and white, but it wasn't originally released. A film called Johnny Mnemonic. I think it's
I've
on
heard
the
of
show.
that. I've heard of that.
I saw a black and white version of it on Criterion, and I'm like, oh, makes the movie like way much better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still goofy and kind of dumb, yeah, but it takes it from a 5 to like a 6. You know?
Yeah, it's a style. Black and white is nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
I
Or like the Mist. You know the movie The Mist?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be all in black and white, but they changed it right before it got released to all color, and now it just makes it more goofy looking.
Cowards.
Instead of black and white where it looks more menacing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or more like an original movie. So yeah.
I kid you not, part of the Twilight Zone, what I think is so great about the Twilight Zone is the black and white. If you colorize that, I think it takes a lot of the oomph away from some of the episodes.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, look at the Addams Family. If you colorize them, it's going to just ruin the whole aesthetic. Or the Munsters, which they keep on trying to come back, and they will come back again.
God bless you, Rob Zombie.
Yeah. And also the guy who made the Saw movies, or I think the first Aquaman, the second one, he's taking it over again, so they're going to reboot it again.
Fantastic.
Yep. All right, and then I watched, this is the movie my father hated, Barbarian.
Oh, I've heard good things.
I will not spoil the movie. I'm not going to say a single word
Detroit,
about
right?
it. In Detroit, yes, that's about it. That's the only thing I'm going to say. But
Okay.
as I say, after the movie, Zach Goggins from, do you remember the sketch show, The Whitest Kid You Know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was part of it.
Nice.
Yeah, so he hates him very much.
Your dad hates him?
Yeah, he hates him. He said he's a fucking idiot. And my guess, Zach Goggins, if you ever listen to this, my father will punch you in the face if he ever sees you. I'm sorry, I love your movie. I loved it. I personally loved it. My father did not. Of course, yeah, so I apologize for that. But I loved the movie. I loved it. So, yes. I won't spoil any of it. It is amazing. It's best to go in dark. I never heard a thing about it. Only thing I knew about it was one actor was in it. I knew. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's really amazing. So I suggest you go check it out. So yes.
Real quick, it's Zach Kreger.
Zach Kreger, sorry. Zach
Yeah.
Kreger, yes. Yeah. So
But no,
Zach Kreger,
good
Zach
to know.
Kreger, watch out.
I've heard good things about your film, Mr. Kreger.
Yes.
Okay.
Then I watched Ghostwatch. Ever hear of Ghostwatch?
No.
Okay, so back in the 1990s, early 90s, BBC decided to put on like a Halloween special.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be like it's like one of those live specials like I don't know, like you know how like opening Al Capone's vault, you know that guy? It's supposed to be like that, but this one was for a ghost, about a woman and her family who live in a house that's haunted. Okay, and it's set up like a real like TV special. Like there's no jokes, no nothing. It's all straight serious. There's an anchor. There's a phone line for people to tell scary stories that counts as a ghost, and then there's a film crew actually filming the actual house. Okay, and it's all played serious. No jokes, no nothing. And then each like in the first hour, okay, it's a standard TV show. You know, they take calls, they interview the family. Once again, you can tell the acting totally natural, no acting, no nothing. There's no music, no nothing. It's a regular news report. Okay, but then throughout the night, things become a little bit stranger and stranger. You know, things start moving, they hear noises, they start taking phone calls that get a little bit kind of more real. That sound like they could have, maybe these ghost things actually did happen. And then it just keeps on escalating and escalating and escalating until the very final moment it happens. Now, I don't know if I should spoil it or not, but I don't know if okay, but it's over 30 years old. It's from 1992. But you can watch it on Tubi until like the real ghosts start to happening, and it's amazing. It's actually a great way. It's kind of like I'll go to this later, but like just a straight horror movie, like a straight ghost tale. Let's just say, it's really fantastic. It was really strange because you never really because it was just like it wasn't like a horror movie event. It wasn't like a horror movie of the week or anything like that. It was generally just like they presented it like a real TV special that you would see in the world, like once again Al Capone's Vault or like I don't
like
know.
that.
Yeah, it's just very straightforward, and then it just keeps on escalating.
So it's kind of like Paranormal Activity before that, but also more like ghost.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's not nothing. It's like there's no camera tricks or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's literally just a straight news report, like a straight like news special. That's it.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, just anybody who check it out, it's actually really great. You may wonder like, oh, it's like this is like a news report for like an hour, but after a little bit, it starts to heat up, and you're just like, wow, amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out. This is
Yeah,
the
it's kind of
British
like
thing.
it's from the BBC. It's on Tubi. It's kind of like War of the Worlds. You know how like everybody thought it was real. It's kind of like that.
Okay.
I'm not sure if anybody thought it was real during that time, but like if you just watched it out of the blue one night back in like 1992, you would think, what's going on?
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe if anybody watched that, that's actually really great. I watched it, and I was a little bit spooked. So I was just like, wow. Because I was like, this is really well done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to give that a watch.
Definitely. And then I watched Paranorman.
Oh my god.
That was actually really good. It's
Was
really,
it?
Yeah, really great film. Yeah. Definitely more. Well, it's a G. I think it's like a G or PG rated movie. Definitely more.
Yeah.
A little more.
I remember
PG-13.
this now. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually really good. It's I think it's the same guys who did Wallace and Gromit.
This is
It's-
Sam Fell and Chris Butler.
I think Likey, you know the Coraline films and stuff like that. Those guys.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that, like
sure,
that.
sure,
That's what
sure.
it's called.
Okay.
Same people who did that. Did a fantastic job. I thought the humor was great. The story was great. The character designs and the claymation setups were great, amazing.
Nice. No,
Yeah.
when you said Paranorman, for some reason I thought of that. What's that Halloween movie Adam Sandler did on Netflix a couple years ago? For some
Oh,
reason,
Hubie Halloween.
Hubie Halloween. That's what I thought of. Okay, that's why I kind of scoffed. Even though I've heard Hubie Halloween is probably one of Adam Sandler's best offerings in ages.
Yeah,
which,
but like
again, I
you
don't know
gotta
if that's
imagine,
saying
like, his
anything.
best offerings is like
I know.
I don't know, like you eat a good part of rotten apple. You know, it's
Yeah.
kind of like that. You know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, no, Paranorman. I remember seeing trailers for this and all. I
Yeah, it
never
was
watched
actually
it though.
really great. I was just anybody check it out. So I was like, okay, let's watch some spooky movies, but I don't want to watch like a horror movie. For some reason
Yeah,
that
I
night, so
hear
it's
you.
like, okay, what's a fun thing I can watch?
Yeah.
Like Paranorman. Never seen that, so that's good. Yeah. So that's mostly it. TV shows and anime, a lot of big things happening. But the main two things I'm watching is called Dandadan.
Dandadan?
Dandadan.
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 Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
One more time. Dandadan.
Dandadan.
Okay, one more time. Dandadan.
Dandadan.
Okay, one more time. Dandadan.
Dandadan.
Okay, we got it. Okay. No, this one. No, okay. Okay, we're done. Okay, that's it. Okay, so Dandadan is based on a manga. It's about a boy and a girl. The boy believes in UFOs. The girl believes in spirits. So one night, they decide to test each other. The boy goes to a famous haunted spot. The girl goes to a UFO center. Hotspot, I should say. Turns out they're both real. The boy gets possessed by a ghost, and the girl gets abducted by aliens who try to inseminate her. Same night. But the girl unlocks her psychic powers, and the boy gets possessed by the ghost but gains her superpowers. Yes, and so then basically the whole series gets off to them trying to fight spirits and aliens throughout the whole series. It's very weird, very out there. The humor
Sounds like
is up to the walls crazy. It's great. The main ghost is called Turbo Granny, and she introduces herself by saying, "I want to suck your wiener," to the boy. So yes,
Oh.
yeah, it's really out there. And so
Yeah.
check it out. It's on Netflix now. I've been reading the manga. It's great. There's a great love story, mystery, sci-fi.
I'd love to watch it, but I can't remember the name.
Dandadan.
Ah, that's right.
Want me to say it one more time?
Dandadan.
Dandadan. Okay. Okay. The other one is Ranma Half, which is a remake of a classic anime with the same title. It's about a boy who begins karate training. He goes to a mystic wells in China and falls into some water. But first, let's back up a little bit. First, he moves in with his father to a karate dojo held by his old friend and with his 3 daughters. Now he is now betrothed to the youngest daughter. So in the hot springs, I should say, Rama falls into a pond. In this pond is the curse of the drowning girl. Any person who goes into that pond becomes a young girl. So every time Ranma is covered in water, cold water, he becomes a girl. Every time it's hot water, he becomes back to a boy. His father got thrown into the pond of the drowned panda. Every time he gets splashed with cold water, he becomes a panda. Every time hot water, he becomes a human again. So basically, it's just this whole train of events where it's just a fun flip-flop of genders, which is actually really good. So, yeah. It's a great like, you can watch the original one still. It's still good, too. It's great. They have my favorite idiot of all time. They call him Kendo. Tachani Kendo, I believe his name is. I forget his name. He's not. No, sorry, his name's not Kendo. But he's my favorite idiot of all time. He's a rich boy who is also a swordsman, but he's so stupid he doesn't realize it. He's in love with Akane, who is the youngest daughter, who is betrothed to Rama as her fiance, and he's in love with Rama, the girl version himself. So he can't decide, so he wants them both. But he's yeah. It's just I'm probably not doing a good job explaining it, but Ranma half is actually really good. So,
I feel like a good anime is very hard to describe.
yeah, but it's really good. It's hilarious. Each character is in its own way is funny and unique. Yeah. So make sure you check that out. Let's see. Oh yeah, Star Trek Lower Decks is back, baby.
Yeah, you've been watching that?
Hell yeah.
Nice.
It's awesome.
I have yet to check that out. I've heard
so
nothing
good.
but great things about it.
Yeah. I'm not I haven't watched a lot of Star Trek, but that's like the only main Star Trek thing I watch probably start to finish. So
I've heard it's great.
unfortunately, the final season, for some reason, the bastards of Paramount decided to not give this another one. I don't know why. There's always the animation, man. They always cut. That's like the first thing they always cut.
Do you think that'd be the cheap one
No.
to cut? No?
It's expensive, so.
That
That
sucks.
stinks. Yeah, but it's still going great. So hopefully they ended in a bang. Hopefully there's like a movie. I'm just hoping.
You never know.
Just hoping. And also, Frasier's back.
Yeah, I've been watching
Season
that.
2 of the new Frasier.
Yep, I've been watching
Yep.
that.
Still okay.
Yeah.
Still fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say the funniest thing in the whole thing was when Frasier was writing his memoir and his Niall's son, who's a character in the new one, was just reading the remarks that Niles gave back to him.
That was great.
That was
yeah.
probably the funniest thing in the whole series.
That was funny.
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah.
And it just made me wish David Hyde Pierce
Yeah,
was there.
exactly.
Yeah.
We got Roz back though.
Yeah, and I the last episode I watched was when he goes back to Seattle and you see all his old coworkers at the station again. Have you
Yeah.
gotten to that one?
Yeah, I got that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Still wish Niles was there.
Yeah, still was when I was there.
But
Yeah.
no, it's okay. I like the Frasier character, and for the most part, I like the support. I like Alan the best, probably.
Yeah, I would
mean-
say once again, the main problem of the show is just the young kids. Like they need more personality or more quirks.
Yeah. They're a
maybe
little
better
bit one-dimensional.
timing or something like that. But
I think they're just written one-dimensionally, kind
Yeah.
of. But
I don't know.
it's almost like comfort food at this point. Like it's not as it's like when you try a restaurant that you used to love 20 years ago or 10 years ago, and it's not as good as you remember, but it's still
Okay.
it's still familiar.
Yeah.
So it's
I
fine.
did like the last episode when
I have not watched the last
Okay, I
one.
would not
yet.
say what I liked about it then. Silence.
When Frasier dies.
Yes, Fraser dies. I think that should be the best part of going into any movie, like any popular. Because I know you tried to spoil Star Wars that one time for somebody, and I was just like, I can't believe somebody died. And it's like, no, I didn't have it. Yeah. Anyway, besides that, in wrestling, AEW next pay-per-view Full Gear main event is Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley.
Okay.
So that's gonna be really interesting.
Violent.
Yes, it is.
Unlikely.
Probably is. So I'm excited for that. But other than that, that's all the banter I got. TJ, I'm all bantered out.
I'm bantered out with you, man.
It's now time to exit the banter zone.
Off ramp from the banter zone.
Dun, dun, dun.
Getting on the service drive. Okay, enough of that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we should talk. Are we still recording, by the way? I don't
Yes,
wanna
we
lose
are.
this. Okay,
the
good.
app has not crashed yet, so we're good to go.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can get to our discussion about this film.
Yes,
Right.
and this week we have the movie Profound Desire of the Gods. Released in 1968, directed by Shohei Imura and written by Shohei Imura and written also by Keiji Hasabi. Starring Rentaro Mikuni, Choshiro Kawasaki, Kazu Kitamura, Hidoko Akiyama, Yoshikato, Yasuko Matsui, and Kanjo Awase. Hopefully I pronounced all those at least somewhat okay. Yes, but this is the last film of the Shoei Imura trilogy. So TJ, well, we discussed what is the movie, but what is the movie about? We don't know. What is this about, TJ?
Profound Desires of the Gods follows the inhabitants of Courage Island, a Japanese island in the Pacific, as the country's post-World War II economic rebuilding efforts spread from the mainland. Detached from their country's rapidly changing identity, many island elders' worldviews are still rooted in spiritualism, specifically in their beliefs of the many gods which dictate matters like the weather and human behavior itself. These doctrines are challenged when, amidst a disastrously long drought, an engineer from Tokyo arrives to oversee the drilling of a giant well on behalf of a sugarcane harvesting company. The company recruits the help of an influential islander, Mr. Ryujin, who convinces many of the natives to provide labor for the drilling project. Among the natives at the movie's focal point are the Futori family, a pariah clan consisting of patriarch Yamamori, his son Nekichi, a World War II veteran, his daughter Uma, a Noro, or something of a mouthpiece for the gods.
A priestess, I believe.
A priestess, yeah.
Yep.
And Mr. Ryujin's mistress. His youngest daughter, Toriko, who is very childlike and said to be cognitively impaired. And his grandson, Kametoro, Nekichi's son with his deceased wife. The reason for the Futori's ostracization? Well, following the death of his wife, Nekichi and Uma began a romantic relationship. As penance, Yamamori offered Uma to Ryujin, who manipulates her spirituality and abuses her emotionally and physically. Upon getting to work, the engineer, Mr. Kariya, finds that the locals are reluctant to disturb the land out of fear of angering the gods. The more he works with them, however, the more he ingratiates himself into their society, to the point where he ultimately agrees to marry Toriko, whom he quickly impregnates. Once finished with the well, however, Mr. Kariya returns to Tokyo, but not before promising Toriko he'd be back for her. Meanwhile, Nekichi refuses to hold back his urges for Uma, and during a nighttime dalliance between the two, he forcefully throws himself upon her, neither of them knowing that they're being watched by dozens of onlookers who begin to throw rocks at them. In Uma's ensuing meeting with Ryujin, he beats her mercilessly to the point where he dies suddenly of what's implied to be a heart attack or stroke. Nekichi and Uma set sail for Western God Island, a land to which the family had plans to relocate upon the tumbling of a sacred stone which had fallen the night the two were caught by onlookers. However, when Ryujin is absent from the sacred Dongama festival, his body is discovered shortly after, and Nekichi is quickly suspected of murdering him. A mob tracks down the brother and sister at sea, and they beat Nekichi to death with oars, and they tie Uma to the mast of her boat to drift aimlessly to her death. Some years later, Courage Island is shown to have developed a railway, and there are clear signs that American influence on the Japanese mainland has spread to the Pacific. Mr. Kariya arrives by plane with his original wife, presumably, and as they take the train ride around the island, she points out a peculiar stone near the coastline. The legend goes that a woman named Toriko became petrified while waiting for her husband to return from the mainland. The train's conductor is shown to be Kametoro, who sees a vision of his long-lost aunt running on the tracks ahead of the locomotive. In the end, no hilarity ensues. And I just realized I left out the death of the patriarch of the family.
Yeah.
That's how much goes on in this.
Yeah, this is a long movie. 3 hours, like almost 3 hours long.
Yes, Yamamori passes away
Yeah.
just after the halfway point. He falls off his roof.
That's true, yes. That's when the first rain comes.
Yes, when
Yes,
the first rain
rain
finally
comes, he
comes, yes.
Yeah. There's also when they find out that they're not going to get the rest of the money from the company from the sugarcane production. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Any other additions, though?
I think so. I forgot, you said you saw his aunt. Like, you saw a vision of his aunt. I'm like, you're technically right, because his sister is his aunt. Technically, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So, okay, maybe I'm incorrect then about the... So, Toriko is his sister?
Yeah.
So that's Nekichi's daughter?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm thinking that's from the incest.
That's right.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
And then
So it is his aunt
he's
sister.
from
Yes. That
the
makes
first
sense.
wife, I believe.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he sees his sister, Totoko, because she dies because when he leaves for Japan,
Okay.
he just lets her go. And
Good
I guess-
catch. I should have caught that. Yes. So Toriko is the daughter of incest,
Yes.
and that is why presumably she is very childlike.
Yes.
Okay.
Has
Good
mentally
catch.
illness,
Good
yeah.
catch. So long lost
Mentally
aunt and sister.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
All right.
And also, I believe the father died. He does get plummeted to death by oars, but also the sharks eat him.
Oh, that's right. The sharks.
Yes.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
Which
Oh my
is
God.
very
It's
important
brutal.
because you forget about it when you watch it because it's so long. But when the pig actually falls into the sea, the sharks eat him. So that's a
And I wrote that. That was my very
yeah,
first
that's
note
a
I
little
wrote.
bit of a red herring. So it's just
Yeah,
like,
a little foreshadowing.
Yeah.
That was the first note I wrote. At the very opening scene, you see a bunch of pigs being brought to the island, I guess, and one of them falls in the water, and shark eats it. And I wrote, was that a real pig getting eaten by a real shark?
that I don't know.
It might have been.
I don't know. There's not a lot about this movie. We'll get into it now, actually.
Yeah, because it was
Okay.
a PETA nightmare.
Yeah. Okay. So this Profound Desire of the Gods. This is basically Shohei Imawara's like crown opus, like the movie he's always wanted to make. You know, every director has one. For some reason, Barry Levinson, the guy who was in High Anxiety, as the guy who stabs.
Yeah, Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis. Like, here's the paper. Here's the paper.
And then went on to direct Bugsy.
Yeah, Bugsy. Like a lot of Oscar-nominated films.
Rain Man. I think he made Rain
Yeah,
Man.
he made Rain Man. He always wanted to make the movie Toys, and he made the movie Toys, and Toys was terrible. But that was the movie he's always wanted to make. Every director has one. They're really long. They're tons of dialogue, tons of famous stars, budgets high, everything. This was his. This is Shohei Imawara's hit. This was his magnum opus.
His toys.
His Toys. Yes, this is Shohei Imawara's Toys. If you think Toys, you think this movie.
That's
Definitely.
right, yeah.
Definitely. He had a bunch of hits in the 60s. Pigs and Battleships, The Insect Woman, and Children of a Murder. A lot of stuff. So he convinced the production company that mostly a lot of his films were based on, Nicosu Corp. So he convinced them to give him like a bunch of money. Like probably, I don't know the budget of this film. I guess really up there. Probably like one of the most expensive films. Like maybe in Japan film history. That I do not know. Don't take that as fact. I don't know how much the films cost, but it took 18 months to film, which usually a film probably may take a
Wow.
month. So 18 months.
Wow.
And I can see why. This film is on probably a single island. It's always hot. They had to film a lot of landscapes. They had to deal with a lot of water. It probably was hell for the cast and crew. They probably did not like it. So yeah. But it took 18 months to film. It probably went over budget, over schedule, and all that stuff. So that's why after this film, he stops working with the studios, and then starts directing like documentaries until like maybe the 80s and stuff like that.
You know, this movie gave me a little bit, it's going to sound weird. It actually gave me a little bit of an Apocalypse Now feel in the fact of
I can definitely see that.
yeah, okay, good. I'm not crazy then. Mainly in how Korea, the engineer, is this well-renowned man
I
from
wouldn't
the
s-
developed
I
mainland.
wouldn't say well-renowned. He's just a normal engineer.
Hey,
Yeah,
I think engineers are pretty damn well-renowned in my
that's true,
book, but
that's
regardless.
true. But he's just like a higher up. That's
Sure,
it.
but
Yeah.
he's like Captain Kurtz in that movie. He's
Yeah.
coming from the developed, area, and he's ingratiating himself into the less developed world and
Yeah.
and finding that they've tapped into something in his primal urges.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that you mentioned that this was kind of a long production,
Yeah.
18 months.
18 months. Yeah.
I don't know if you know anything about the Apocalypse Now production. It was a fucking nightmare,
Yeah.
though. So that's it, and it's kind of I guess the parallels are somewhat there, but they're not
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
direct and
But
narrative.
once again, there's not a lot of information on this movie, at least from like lazy internet research. You probably have to read like books or essays about his movies and his style.
Who's got time for that?
Who's got time for that? We have no time for that. No. You think this is a well-shot operation? Hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not. But my guess, 18 months for any film is long. Even like blockbusters, they take shorter than that. I mean, yeah. So my guess this is not a fun experience to film. I don't know really his directing style, so I don't know if he's very like tyrannical or very like a perfectionist or anything like that. But this film is very well crafted. The shots of it and everything like that.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
the
it's
shot. He's got a great eye.
Great
now,
eye
first
for-
of all,
yeah.
out of convenience, if I was him, I would have just green screened this all.
Yeah,
Green screen
exactly.
everything.
That
Have
was
them all
available
in
in
a
1968. Yeah,
have them all in a nice
definitely.
air-conditioned room and just green like the prequels, like the prequel trilogy.
Yeah,
basically.
But
But no,
Jar, he's the key to this all.
yeah, have some dewbacks in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, no, it is shot beautifully.
Yeah.
Anytime you see like a close-up of just animals, it's just great. I don't know how to explain it otherwise, but you get these close-ups of owls' eyes or snakes and spiders. And
Yeah.
I don't know, they're just shot
You get
really
these
well.
great shots of just the island itself and everything,
Yeah.
and them sailing.
I'm just going to show my hand here. This movie was fascinating to me because it deals with these like taboo concepts. Obviously, incest is not something
Yeah.
that's mainstream accepted, but it does so in a way that doesn't condemn it or champion it. It's like a documentary.
Yeah,
Did
it's
you
just
get that feel at all?
Kind of like
it's kind of
that,
like it
'cause
just turned the
basically
camera on.
We're just showing how basically society. This is my reading of the movie. That basically all the old thinking is bullshit. I think everybody knew it was bullshit, but they still believed in it because they feared it. But once money came in, they just abandoned it right away, and then they're just like, okay, you know what? Forget all that stuff. You can do whatever you want now. It's fine.
Yeah.
It proves it was used to control people. It was used to control this family and destroy this family. So I think that's the main crux. That it's just the meaning of like this. I think the main crux of this film is just the abandoning of old Japanese style thinking, which for that island was even probably archaic for the old Japanese society, definitely. But just abandoning that and accepting the new capitalistic or new way of thinking.
Well, there was no stopping it.
There's no stopping it.
I
It
think
was
that
just
I do think that because at the end of the movie you kind of have that scene where Kamatoro is being picked on by his peers who are like, "Oh, the old gods are bullshit."
Yeah.
I do think the old heads still believe in gods.
but they still came. The people.
Yeah,
They
oh,
still
yeah.
went to the festival.
They still went to the festival.
They still got beaten with sticks.
Yeah.
And drank sake because they were
Yeah.
forced to.
It's like how I go to midnight Christmas
Yeah.
mass, even though I'm not a devout Catholic. I'm
Exactly.
confirmed
No matter
Catholic,
what,
yeah.
like you still have your parents. So
Yeah.
like say you have a kid, like I don't want to baptize my kid, but then your dad gets on you, then your mom gets on you, then you have to baptize the kid.
Yeah.
And then it's
yeah,
it's
exactly.
like that.
It's
It's
just
like that.
it's just how it's always been
This is
done.
how it's always been. Like,
Yeah,
no matter
it's-
what.
it's
Like the
the-
whole way would never really die. It's always gonna be stuck there a little bit. But once something new and like once something just stops that, you're like, okay, you gotta move on. Forget all these old ways. Forget it.
Well, you have to think like the Western influence after World War II. That was an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
Now these islanders, you might look at them immediately and think that they're less developed as a community, but the thing is, this is a time before telecommunications.
Yeah.
They are effectively their own country.
Yeah.
Right. They're not really connected to the mainland.
The only
Japan.
connection they have is from the company, and once the company runs dry, then
Oh, correct. And that's
it's basically saying like once the real gods, the money gods, run out dry, then
Yeah.
you fuck all your beliefs, and then you just follow what they believe.
There's certainly a commentary about, capitalism being and the Western influence being that unstoppable force, though.
Yeah.
There's this drought, and who's going to save us? Oh, it's going to be this big company from Tokyo, the
Yeah.
capital. And there is definitely a commentary there. But the way I see it is he's not condemning it. He's just saying that's just how it is.
Yeah.
There were these pockets of Japanese in the Pacific Islands that, were not as...
Yeah.
They were more spiritual, I would imagine.
Yeah, I do know how in the beginning of the film you can definitely see like how even the main guy, his name, the
Nikichi?
not Nikichi, his war buddy, the guy who runs the whole.
Oh, Ryujin.
Ryujin.
Yeah,
So
Mr. Ryu.
Mr.
Yeah.
Ryu, he runs the whole thing. Basically, I think he knows the old ways are just bullshit, but he uses it to control
Oh,
Nikichi
yeah.
and his family.
Yeah.
For some reason, I mean, do they really need? I guess
Well, he's capitalizing most
he's
of it.
capitalizing most of it. I guess because maybe it was his idea to like hook up instead of doing rice, it's now sugar plants. And so he was like, okay, no, it's not my fault. It's the family that cursed us fault. It's their
Correct.
fault. It's not my fault. Okay, it's this idiot's fault. So maybe that's why. But I think he knows it's all bullshit. But he's just following along because
He
he
claims
wants to
be
take
a-
advantage. He wants to put blame on other people, and he wants to take advantage of his sister. So yeah.
Well, and he knows how valuable
Yeah.
the land is. Like the
That's
Fattoris don't want to move. They don't really want to
Because
move.
why would you move for like 50 years you've been told the gods will be angry if you don't do the thing you're supposed to do, and then one night you're just like, you don't have to break down a giant fucking rock anymore. You can go. Mm-hmm. But no, you said for 50 years you will be punished if you don't move this, if you don't kill the rock or don't destroy the rock. Yeah. So I understand why the main guy, Nikichi, sorry if I pronounced his name wrong, but the dad, I'll say, the dad of the incest dad. I'll call him the incest dad.
That works, yeah.
The incest dad. I can see why. He's like, no, like, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been chained up to a fucking rock for 20 years trying to destroy this thing. I'm going to finish this because the gods told me to, because you told me to do so, because you're my buddy. Yeah. And you wouldn't steer me wrong, right? You wouldn't do anything to harm my family or use me.
Of course not.
Of course not. We're war buddies. We went through hell together. We went through one of the worst trashed ever. You wouldn't fuck me over, would you? He's like, no. Nah. And so it finally happened. Like, the rock got destroyed, and that's a good happy ending. Now they can live a regular life, but no, because now the old ways are gone, the new ways are here. They're the only thing that's stopping the new ways from going. Because my guess, Yuji, if that's his name, I always forget, fucked up everything, invested too much in sugarcane, realized, I'm screwed now, and he's like, I gotta sell all this stuff. Like, it's only one family now, so I gotta make sure there's still the blame to it. So once again, coincidence that he just died, but I remember his wife or like somebody coming in to check and he's dead, and then somebody coming out and screaming like, oh, he got murdered by the incest dad, but that didn't happen.
Well, no, it's the obvious conclusion you draw, and again, it's a society that is not about due process, right? And this family's already, like, obviously, if this family wasn't the pariahs that they are, maybe he would have stood a chance, but no, Mr. Ryu is definitely very influential, and he was. I think he was absolutely manipulating them and their spirituality. He was definitely,
especially the father, like the grandfather, who was just like, he knew he believed all the way, like no matter what, it was pure. It was like he believed the gods are angry at him for his son for sleeping with his sister.
And for poaching the fish.
For poaching the fish, that's a huge thing.
Yeah,
I think they're more angry about poaching the fish than the incest, which is really weird, but they're mad about him, and they're looking for a scapegoat. And the son, Koichi, that's his name. What's his name?
The young one.
The young one. Katamoi.
Hold on, sorry, it's Kametaro.
Kametaro. He's just trapped in this. He's like the one normal kid who's like,
oh yeah,
my family's fucked up. I got an incest father and mother, or stepmother, or mother. I don't know which one's which. My sister is probably mentally challenged from the incest.
She's my aunt.
She's my aunt, and she also wants to sleep with me, but she wants to sleep with anybody. My grandfather just believes anything that anybody tells him about the gods, so I have to deal with his shit, and I have to be respectful to everybody because we're already the pariahs of the family. So he just wants to go. He just wants to get out of here. So that's kind of why he goes along with everything. So So I don't know. I just kind of feel bad for the family. Like, I don't agree with the incest at all. But it's just like this family was taken advantage of by the capitalist system. Like, they were nothing. And it's like, it just sucks. I think it's the basis of the whole movie. And then the engineer, you can basically have this whole movie without the engineer. I mean, basically, the whole movie is just basically, it's about how this island, the old ways are dying, new ways are coming. And they wanted to keep the old ways. In the beginning, they wanted to. They thought, like, okay, we'll build the water source, like, on this rock right here, with this like little opening patch where you can get the water from.
Yeah.
But then the engineer discovers, well, I guess the engineer is important for that aspect of the film. He discovers there's a well, and just the clean water right where the holy ground is. So he's like, why not just dig there? But they try to convince him not to. I wouldn't say, like, when you said indoctrinated, I wouldn't say indoctrinated. I think he went insane because of how hot it was, how many times the villagers tried to fuck with him, and how many times he tried to be seduced by Imura and Toika, the incest child. I would call it that. Sorry. So he just went insane. He finally gave up. He wasn't indoctrinated.
I never said indoctrinated. I said ingratiated.
Ingratiated. Okay. He just gave up. He was just like, fine, I'll fall to this. I'll sleep with you.
Kinda. I mean, his wife was cheating on him in the mainland.
I guess so. Yeah. So he's just like, fine, I'll do it.
Some letter he got.
I don't know. And then I think he was going to go along with the plan, but they still kept on drilling in the sacred land, and and then I think this push came to shove. The head of the island, Yuichi, was just like, we'll be screwed because the rain came. That didn't save every well's still dry.
Yeah.
And then, the sugar's still not growing, and we need a place to grow it. So he's just like, fuck everything now. We're just gonna focus on
Tourism.
Forget all old ways. They're gone forever. Just like. And it's like, I'm going to release my friend now. He'll be happy. And then he realized, like, wait, you tortured this guy for 20 years. You think he's just going to give up? That guy, his main goal in life was to... For those who haven't seen this movie, his main goal to bring back the rain, to replenish the island for rice and stuff like that, is to get a giant boulder. Imagine the biggest boulder you've ever seen. Like, that size of a boulder. Off, like, a mountain. Off, like, a hill. So that way the water can get through. That was his job for 20 years. And you're going to tell him... You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that anymore. You're free. You can just go. Just go. I'll give you money, and everything will be fine. The gods are no longer mad at you. It's fine. Like, no. This is his life's work. And it happened. The rock fell.
Yep.
And that's just like, moment of victory. Yeah, I did it. But then it's just like, this moment of defeat because you realize that it doesn't matter if you did that thing. You would have been the hero of the village or something like that. But unfortunately, the old ways are dead. So you're going to be sacrificed for the new way. And all the, even I love how at the very end, the guy who placed Yuji as, the head guy, I think his name's Fumoto or something. He was one of the guys who the incest dad pointed out when he was about to get murdered on the boat.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think his name is Fumoto or something like that. He keeps trying to explain to, the visitors, oh, these are the oldest wives' tales. But he believed that. Just, this 5 years ago, he believed it. But it's like, oh, no, that's all bullshit. It really shows you how money changes everything real quickly.
Yeah, 100%. It's absolutely a look at how money can quickly change a mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, because once you're dying, you're like, fuck the gods. I gotta live. Because they're all gonna die. They weren't gonna live on the island, or they were gonna leave the island, and they didn't want to leave the island, so they're just like, okay, fuck Narus, fuck everything. Just fuck the family, Futo, I think the last name was, or
Futaro.
Futaro.
Yeah, Futaro.
Fuck them. They're just gonna die, and we're gonna save the one kid because he's a good lackey. Because I don't know, you just feel bad, yeah.
Tell you what I felt bad for. The actress who plays Uma, her breasts. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
They get violated.
The one theme of all Shoei emo films that we've seen so far is that women were treated like trash. Every one. From the murders of Vengeance is Mine, from the sex trade of Pigs and Battleship, to this one. Just basically the women were just are usable, they're treated like trash, and
it almost looks like in the filmmaking process they are too. I mean, it's that convincing. Those sexual assault scenes on her are so graphic.
And every scene's non-consensual. Every one, no matter what. From the brother, from Mr. Yuji, correct?
Ryo.
Sorry if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Mr. Ryo, doesn't matter. From the serial killer, Vengeance is Mine. From Pigs and Battleships, it doesn't matter. It's all just non-consensual, and it's really bad.
Yeah.
Basically, just shown is this bad for women doing
Japanese women specifically, obviously for these movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
During
think about
what's
the stereotype of the Japanese geisha
she's
or whatever.
meek, virgin, will do chores, does not speak.
It's all submissive.
Back.
It's
all submissive. Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily blaming Imamura for any of this.
No, that's just Japanese society. That's what they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we're not saying we're experts in the Japanese society ways of history of women or anything like that. But I don't know. From the media we watched and
just going off stereotypes. This case,
yes. Yeah. Definitely. So we could you don't have to go through this movie beat by beat. Basically, yeah. So it's
kind of hard to.
It's kind of hard to too because it's so long. I wouldn't say the length of this movie is a bad thing because I was still engaged the whole time because it wasn't it wasn't every 10 minutes needs to be an action scene. But each scene explained a new thing of the island and explained a new thing of the people. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Oh no, I think the runtime's justified, especially if you look at it as it's less of a narrative and more of, I would say, again, like a documentary thing.
Yeah.
Each half of the movie is kind of its own isolated story, with the first, I would say, probably more or less being the examination just of
Yeah,
the characters.
exactly. We introduce an outsider to the temple, or sorry, to the island, see what they see. And this guy, he's like, "What the fuck's going on here? I want a Coke." That's his
Yeah.
way. That seems like I like Coca-Cola. And I was like, these guys probably have never seen a Coke in their lives. Maybe I don't know, but you know,
The second half is more classically narrative, where you have this love story and them trying to escape and being caught. Like,
Yeah.
that's where you have the more traditional side of the, storytelling process.
yeah. Now that I think about it, I just thought of this right now. Like at the very end, when they said there's a rumor that there's a red sail, you can see a red sail from like from the islands. I'm like, oh, that's just a rumor. My guess, she's still out there. They
Yeah.
haven't found her. She's still out there.
Yeah.
She's dead, hanging outside on a boat attached to a red sail, and tourists can now see her as a little tourist trap thing. So
Yeah, I think they show a brief shot of something in the distance
yes,
in the water.
they show the
at
ship.
very
You
end.
see it, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
not.
that's
you get a good
that's
look, but
probably still her. She's still out there.
that's how I read it.
Yeah, that's how I read it too.
Toriko's turned to stone. I mean,
Yeah, Todoroki turned to stone. The Uma is still out there. Todoroki is now a spirit.
that's how I read it.
Yeah.
I think Imamura likes stories about the fringes of Japanese
Yeah,
post-World War II
that's
society.
his main thing. His main thesis, showing the dark side of each one.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be prostitutes and strippers and gangsters and pigs and battleship, the serial killers in Vengeance's Mind, or that's definitely like the fringe society.
This is
definitely.
the fringe of a fringe society.
Yeah, this is like
Yeah.
this is the outcast of the main society who just like after the war didn't get the memo on like TVs or anything like that, or modern life in Japan.
Right.
So it's like, okay, we still live with our old ways. We'll still have we'll have machines and stuff like that. We're not gonna have like a lot of modern technology and stuff like that, but we'll still live with the old ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly right.
Yeah.
It is a tough movie to break down beat by beat because it is really very much just, like I said, it reminded me of a documentary.
Yeah.
And I think part of that also speaks to just how, obviously how it's shot. You don't have a lot of dynamic camera movements here and there, but you
No.
also have very authentic acting. The acting in this movie is
Oh,
A+.
Fantastic.
It is really A+.
It was
man.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the best acting I've ever seen in a movie, frankly. It
True.
just all looks so organic,
Yeah.
I
mean, Todoroki, if I'm sorry if I keep mispronouncing the name, I'll say the incest daughter, the son, is fantastic. The incest dad, fantastic. He was probably the best actor in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
definitely. Uma, bless her heart, gave an amazing performance as a woman who's been abused for years because she, was. I mean, what she did was not really great, but it was just. I would say it wasn't say it was.
It doesn't hurt anybody.
But but she should have got punished like that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't chain people up for 20 years to try to get a lockdown because of it. No, it's insane. And then like I'm saying, I really think I looked at photos of Zoe Imura and the engineer. They look almost identical.
Yeah, you think he modeled that character after him?
I don't know, but it looks kind of the same. That's why if you look it up now, but I think they look kind of the same. I don't know if that's a metaphor, that's a stand-in for something, but I think they look the same. I should say. Yeah.
Could be.
But another theme of this movie is the cruelty, because the villagers are just cruel people. Because my guess, I don't know, after years of just taking shit, they're just tired of everything. Like when the engineer first comes to the island, starts asking questions to the people at the bar. Every question he asks, they just laugh at.
Yeah.
Just like, can I have some rum? I was like,
There's
I was like, that's it.
salt in this water.
It's just like every time they just laugh at him. They laugh at anybody. At the son, they just laugh at him. They just laugh at anybody. They don't care. They're just very cool people who, I don't know, just.
Yeah, I mean, you live on. They're all like jaded at that point. And
Yeah.
I think that some of them know
Yeah.
that change is coming, whether they want it or not, and they're kind of cynical. They're drinking salt water because they don't have any rainwater.
Yeah.
Right. And that'll do things to people's attitude.
True. Yeah.
And they have this, here's this highfalutin outsider from Tokyo.
Yeah, he
You
thinks
know.
he's better than all ways, and then
Right.
and then they turn on the old ways and it's like, oh, these old ways are stupid, and then they kick out the one family.
I think he kind of symbolizes that Western influence on the country as a whole and how it just rippled from Tokyo.
Yeah, well, it shows
outward, right?
I don't know, kind of just shows like the cruelty of the world, like no matter where you are, whether it be Western influence or not, just like this cruelty. I mean, when we watch Waves of the Fireflies, there were cruelties then too, because literally kids are dying on the street, but they're blaming the kids themselves.
Yeah. I'm talking about the engineer himself. I think is more a symbol of just, again, stemming from Tokyo and rippling out. That, I mean, it can't be overstated that America's influence post-war is kind of what built Japan's identity post-war.
Yeah.
I mean, really, didn't America help them rebuild?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how I read it. Obviously, that could be the exact opposite of what Imamura meant, and he could be shouting at me from an afterlife right now.
He could be, yes.
You
He's
idiot!
He's right here right now. This has a ghostly form.
You stupid son of a bitch!
Come on.
You'll never get invited to a party.
Yeah.
That's what he's yelling.
It's true. Definitely. Yeah. So I don't know. The reason I chose this film really, it was just I think it was just because it was available on Criterion. I went off the Letterboxd rankings. That's like the based on viewerships, like just like most popular, how good it is. People think it is. So it goes Vengeance is Mine, The Battle of Naoyama, and then Pigs and Battleship. I couldn't find The Battle of Naoyama, so I just chose Profound Desires of the Gods. But I was thinking, like, watching this movie, I was watching it at 6 a.m. I was like, come on, like this. Like, I feel so bad for the family because like they were just tossed away like they were nothing in the eras of progress, which now like it's still happening. Tons of families, civilizations, they're being tossed away for progress. The ways of thinking, everything is just in the way of progress. You know, no matter what, progress gets in the way. Go from Detroit here, gentrification, thousands of people, homes they can't afford, now homeless. They're being pushed out because they're in the way of progress.
Yep.
So it really just like the way you look at it from like American point of view, like it shows that, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That, you know, like society won't take your side if you're in the way of progress, and if you're in the way of progress, you're gonna get destroyed.
Well said, actually. Yeah, that's a good thesis for this movie.
Yeah.
That's capitalism. I mean, I'm not an anti-capitalist by any means, but you bring up gentrification. That's absolutely a great point.
Yeah.
I mean, how that is a serious problem in a lot of metropolitan areas.
Yeah.
That
not just like the cultural of like destroying that's going on, like such as whole neighborhoods being destroyed, like culture, restaurants, museums, clubs where music and art is presented.
Well, because people with money and ideas to revamp things, you know, they might have good intentions, but what they don't realize is that the new taxes or whatever are going to price other people out.
You tradition is thrown out the window. Generations of people are just like disassociated and gone. It could be just like literally a restaurant that's been there for almost 50 years. You know, it may be just a restaurant, but it could have been part of the neighborhood, but it's going to be placed for condos or like for closing yoga shops. Sure, there was a dingy club in like downtown somewhere it was dingy, it looked like shit, it smelled like shit, but you can find the best music ever there, but it's gone now because unfortunately it was in the way. So right now it's apartments.
It is survival of the fittest.
Yeah, and that's basically
Yeah.
what we've been saying for like half an hour. This is the summary of the movie, the basis of the movie, which I believe in.
It's absolutely the basis of the movie. There is no place in a developed society for this family. That's the whole point. And it's not, that's obviously really harsh, but that is the cold reality of their situation. And even when they try and escape and go be on their own, it is tragic when they get hunted down at the end.
Yeah.
It is really tragic, and it's a really well shot, tense scene. You know that they're fucked. There's no way they're gonna make it to this island. He's out of gas in his motorboat.
He doesn't see us coming. He doesn't know he's gonna get.
He doesn't see it. We do though.
Yeah.
And when they all pull up with
what's going
their,
on? We didn't do anything. He died.
Well, and all these islanders pull up with their ceremonial masks. There's something so impersonal about it, but he still can see his son.
Yeah, I know you. I know you. Like, no,
he recognizes several.
You're not gonna hide your guilt from what's going on.
Yeah.
They probably know he didn't kill him. And he's like, you didn't get a try or anything.
They always wanted a reason to get rid of that family.
Yeah,
they found a quick way, and that's basically it's all she wrote for the Fattori clan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Wow, I really talked myself into this movie. I really did.
Yeah.
I guess like we basically just went over the whole
Into what? Liking it?
until I liked it,
Watching
but
it?
I would say like liking it more than I thought I did.
Mhm.
I think I did after talking about that because really this whole film is just like the way it's shot, acted. It really associates like how society changes over not just that like time. It's just like in sometimes in its days where like you can have a whole society based on one thing, and just like a few days later it can completely change like that with like one thing of influence.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, then, do you want to give your final thoughts?
Yeah, I guess we're going to our final thoughts now. So I didn't really know anything about this movie when choosing it. Once again, like I said, this is just the movie. This is the fourth movie on the Letterboxd. I'm just like, okay, we'll choose Profound Desires of the God. And I really think now, like talking about it, this could be the best of the movies we've seen of the Solar Emo. I thought it was gonna be Pigs and Battleship, but I think this movie's better than Pigs and Battleship. You know, even though that also has a different message, and I think I just love the old cinema scope kind of style that was in Pigs and Battleships, and you know I did like the absurdity of it more than in this one because there is absurdity in this movie also, but you know, but I don't know. I just think the themes are way better and more powerful, and I think the acting is also way better in this movie than in Pigs and Battleships, even though Pigs and Battleships was also acted fantastically.
Yeah.
But I would say this was probably my favorite out of the three we saw. So I was just gonna give this like 3 stars, but I think I'll go 4.5 stars for this film because this is the way like it's just set up how society is to people, and you know this everything basically the whole concept of this movie makes it better for me than I thought it did.
Sometimes it isn't, and that's why we have these discussions. To you kind of can reevaluate
Thing is though, like,
midstream of consciousness.
yeah, it's just like you connect to these people, you know. I mean, yes, so they were both into incest, and they were, but you know, I don't feel like I don't judge them that harshly because they've been judged enough. For 20 years, he was trying to bring down a fucking boulder, and it was negged on by his father, who they negged on, so that way they can have a guy to bring down the fucking boulder, and also so that way the leader of the village could have a concubine forever whenever he wants.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's common decent empathy. What
Yeah.
you just are displaying.
Even though they
there,
did
yeah.
something that is disgusting, we just still there's something. You know, we have something we connect to these characters. I relate to the son because he's in a bad position. His mother died.
Yeah.
His father slept with his sister who gave birth to a sister that's mentally challenged.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like the normal one in the town in the family of screw ups. You know, he wants to get out. He wants to go to Tokyo and find his dreams. But when he does, he comes back because he's missing something, and then he realizes it's his family who he betrayed. Because what else could he do if he goes against? He tried to stop him somehow because it was his family. Like, it's my father. I can't stop him. But there was nothing he could do. Progress was in the way. So it was
You're right. It's like Arrested Development.
Yeah.
He's trying to get away from his family.
Trying to
but
get away
he
from his family,
can't
but he can't do it.
do it. Yeah.
So that's why he came back. But now he's going to be haunted by probably visions of his sister for the rest of his life. And
Yeah.
everybody who's on the island, they'll try to get rid of the family by saying the stories aren't real or anything like that. But they always will. Because there'll always be a guy. Let's bring up the one of the main side characters of the story, the man with no legs, who plays the I don't know the Japanese instrument, but he plays the little Japanese instrument.
Yes.
That tells
I
the
love
story
that guy.
of the brother and sister who made the island.
The brother and sister gods.
The brother and sister gods. Always be that guy, even if they try to push him away when they're selling coke.
I love the way that they use that guy.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm glad you brought him up just because he's in the beginning, he's in the middle, and then at the end he's being wheeled away.
He's being wheeled
Again,
away.
Another symbol of out with the old, in with the new.
Exactly.
You've got this Coca-Cola
I thought they were just
salesman.
going to push him out of the way, but it's just like, whoosh.
I actually had his song stuck in my head all day today.
Yeah.
It's just
like,
the melody
he's the
of it.
storyteller. He's the guy that spreads the words to the children so they know the history of this island and they know of the old ways. There's always going to be a guy like that, no matter what.
Yeah.
I don't really get the symbolism of the green and red lighting that was always on him.
I didn't either.
I didn't either. Maybe if we look deeper into it, we can. But maybe it could be colors that are, I don't know, in Japanese society they mean something else. But, but besides that, he's the storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
He will always live on no matter what. He was always tell the stories. So no matter how many times, there's also a little bit of hope in that. Like no matter how many times the society will progress will trump anything else. There always will be something to hold on to, no matter what. And to us, it is the storyteller. Even if they push him around, no matter what, just to get him out of the way so they can sell coke.
There's always got to be a scribe.
There always got to be a scribe, sure.
Yes. Yeah. Well, good. Very well said. I'm going to kind of echo you. I actually wrote here that I was going to give it a 4.5 out of 6 as well. I think this is an incredibly made movie.
Yeah.
When I saw the runtime, I was like, oh my God, I have to fit this into my schedule.
Yeah.
I have
Lucky there's an intermission. Thank you, Shohei, for doing
oh my
that.
God, I have 5 more Halloween movies I have to
Yes,
watch.
exactly.
No, but no, I split this up into 3 viewings, actually an hour apiece, and that actually was pretty nice because then I got to dwell, and I found myself anticipating the next scene and the next watch.
Yeah, I was thinking, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next?
Yeah, this is
unlike the Batman, where I was like, okay, it's over now. Nope.
Nope.
Over now.
Yeah.
Nope. I was like, it wasn't just like, okay, now it's over. Nope. It's like, okay, continuation of like what's going to happen next. Because yeah.
No, I mean this is it's a very well made movie. Of the 3 that we watched of Imamura, I'll rank those out next time.
Yeah, and I might change my mind in doing the rankings episode, but right now it's in the heading of my favorite Imamura movie.
Yeah, it was damn good, man.
Yeah.
This was so well made, so well acted, so well shot.
Yeah.
That I really actually believed that this was a real island with real people. I mean, I really could feasibly get lost in that. And yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of got that same appeal as an Apocalypse Now. I don't know how to elaborate on that, but it does, and that's one of my favorite movies. I did enjoy this movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, again, normally my complaint with movies this long is, oh, you couldn't have cut 10, 20 minutes out of this. I'm not really mad about
I
the
don't
length
really
of this
see
one.
like really cutting anything out. I mean, maybe we can
No.
cut some things out with the engineer, but besides that, I'd be like, I think this movie is fine the way it is. Like, even like it was. We'll go into it, but this wasn't really a hit when it came out, mostly because I don't know, it was long. Maybe people didn't. Which is weird because one of his contemporaries of the day, Ozu, also made very long movies about Japanese life, and I don't know if they're all hits, but they are considered some of the best in Japanese cinema. You know, up there with the Kurosawas and everything like that. So, but I don't know, this wasn't a hit when it came out, so maybe they couldn't really handle the incest or like the brutality of it all and like the dirtiness of it all. So maybe that's why it was a failure in Japanese society ways.
Maybe.
But now it's considered a classic. I mean, did you give your final rating for this? Or?
Yeah, 4.5.
4.5. 4.
Good.
Okay. So yeah. So I don't know. This wasn't seen as a height of anything when it was released in Japan. But now it's considered a classic. I mean, literally every review on Letterboxd. You know, for Letterboxd, you'll get like some cute reviews or something like that. Like, oh, like they say a line from the movie. Or they'll be like, oh, gay werewolf or something like that, you know. Or this whole movie is just gay, you know, or something like that. Something funny or witty or something like that. There's like mostly none of that in the Letterboxd reviews. Each one is long paragraphs explaining the importance of this film. Each one, except maybe the first one, which is a little bit of a joke, but still, it kind of makes fun of like the fact that each review is a long summarization or analyzation of this movie. Even any vlog you've seen, a long summarization and what's the word I'm looking for? Criticalization of this movie.
Yeah.
You know, there's no short way to kind of explain the greatness of the movie. It takes a long time.
It's a lot to unpack.
A lot to unpack, and each one is like that. So, yeah. But so that's our thoughts on Found Eyes of the Gods. Okay, I guess we'll go into the awards then for this film. This was submitted for Best Foreign Film in the Oscars. I believe the 41st Oscars, because this was released in 1968. I don't know what date exactly, because I still don't know how they do the Oscars. Is it like from January of like the first month of the year to December? Is it exactly that, or is it like a certain like even it could be like February or something like that?
I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
I really don't.
So this was put in for a nomination for the Oscars, and let's see, this is the 41st Oscars. That was the Oliver year. We'll get into that a little bit later, but. Let's see, the best foreign films of that year was War and Peace from the USSR, so the adoption of the novel. The Boys of Paul Street from Hungary. The Fireman's Ball, Czechoslovakia. The Girl with the Pistol, Italy. And Stolen Kisses from France. I see some tough conversation. I mean, War and Peace. I mean, that's like...
Yeah.
I've never seen the film version of that, but, you know, it's based on one of the most influential novels of all time, but... I don't know, like... It'd be interesting to see how well these films stack up against each other, but I don't know. I think it deserved like at least a nomination. You know, I don't know how good Stolen Kisses or The Girl with the Pistol or like any of these films are, but I think it was that good just to be nominated, definitely. So yeah, so let's go to Best Picture. This was the Oliver year. This is like one of the last, I think the very last musical to win Best Picture. One of the very last musicals. The very last one was La La Land, technically. But like in the golden age of Hollywood, I think it's one of the very last ones because, yeah, I think before that it was La La Land. Or if you count The Artist as a musical, I think that counts. But once again, I don't think anybody remembers The Artist. No,
Nobody.
no one does.
And I saw that movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember a fucking thing
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. So yeah, was it even a musical?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I
so
believe
yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then. Oh no,
Definitely musical.
Chicago.
business.
Every time I keep on thinking,
Oh,
we
yeah.
forgot it. Like no, Chicago was a musical.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so before Chicago, this was probably the last one. Yeah, I can't think of anything before, like, from Oliver to Chicago, that was a musical. That won Best Picture. No, I can't, yeah. So from, in the 68 categories, you had Oliver, which I heard is still good, It's not like, one of the bad films, like Dr. Dolittle or whatever, like one of those huge films, huge musicals that were bad.
Yeah.
Or like one of those huge westerns that were terrible, just like that. Funny Girl, which Barbra Streisand gives an amazing performance in. I believe she won Best Supporting Actress. Oh no, she tied with Katharine Hepburn in The Lion in Winter. So she won an Oscar. She's a co-winner.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because really, if you see Barbra Streisand sing in any role, it's amazing. It's fantastic with range of voice anywhere. Then you got The Lion in Winter. I've never heard of that movie, really. Then you got Rachel, Paul Newman. Then you got Romeo and Juliet. So if this was like now, I don't know if this movie would be nominated now. That's the thing. If this was made now, you think this would be nominated?
Yeah.
At least for foreign film?
For foreign film.
You think it would be nominated for Best Picture, though?
Probably.
Really?
Yeah, I think it would be nominated. If you made a movie of this caliber,
That's
in
true.
an age now where we celebrate, the Academy, we think, celebrates global films more on par with American films, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I don't see why it wouldn't be nominated. I mean, this is a very well-made movie.
That's true.
And there's a lot of layers to it. A lot of things that I didn't pick, that I kind of had to piece together, because part of it is like, reading the subtitles and having to keep up with those and missing some of the stuff on screen. But like, it actually is it doesn't beat you over the head with its narrative, but there actually is a really strong universal narrative there.
Yeah.
Of this Mr. Ryu basically exploiting his whole people's spirituality to enrich himself.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, it's a very universal story, I
Life
think.
still sucks. It's not great. He's not like living in a mansion or anything. He just gets to have sex with his best friend's sister.
But is he really his friend? I mean, I think
Yeah,
that's kind of
exactly.
the whole point is how I don't want to say that Western influence perverts the island, but just the effect that it will have on it. It turns everything into a competition, and he says, well, somebody's got to profit off of this deal with the sugarcane people. I don't know. I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but I do think that the quality of this movie, if it were made today, I think, it would get some Academy recognition.
Ah, cool.
Definitely best foreign film.
Definitely,
Best
definitely.
picture. Okay, maybe not, but should it? Probably.
That goes to The Flash. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So that's really awards of it. Oliver. Maybe you guys should check that one out. Oliver.
Maybe.
Can I have some more, please?
Please, sir.
Please, sir, may I have some more? No. More? I think that's the only cultural impact that movie has had. That's the only one. That's the only
thing I know
thing.
about it, yeah.
Nobody knows any of the songs, just that very line, because people make fun of it so much.
That's all I know about it.
Yeah. So, I guess that's the end. If you don't really have anything to tie this up with, and you didn't...
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Did you give me another present?
Sorry. I did not get you another
Oh,
present. Sorry.
boo.
How did your coworkers comment on your cool shirt at all?
No, I don't think they got it.
That's just because they're not red button MVPs.
Exactly.
Do you have a red button MVP for this movie?
Yeah, I'll give it to the grandfather.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll give it to him. You know what? I'll give it to... No, it's the grandfather. I'll give it to the grandfather.
Okay.
He acted so well. I'll give it to him. Okay, well, I guess that's it. That's the end of this series, guys. So let's wait for the next coming weeks where we rank these films and release our new films. What's it gonna be? We don't know. We don't know. He's like, torture TJ or not torture him?
You don't have to.
It's kind of fun though. How do you feel about bad '90s kid animated films?
Oh God.
Don't you want to know about the gnome in the park, TJ? Don't you want to know about how the environment's dying?
You know, we did just watch 6 pretty good movies, I would say. So
Yeah.
if you wanna go the bad route, let's do it.
Let's do it. Fine. Let's just ruin our minds.
Yeah, fuck
junk.
it, man.
Let's just do it.
Sure.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for us.
Trevor, tell us what to do.
Yes, Trevor. Tell us what to do. Contact me on Facebook. Me and Trevor used to have speech therapy together. That's the only thing we had going. For like first grade through 5th grade, and then I continued through middle school, which was a bad idea.
Sorry to hear.
I still can't say my R's. Sometimes when I say my R's, when I say shock, I say shock.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Sean Connery did the same thing, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Shock.
I should have said I just talk like Sean Connery, and that way I just avoided speech therapy at all. So anyway, that's our show for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like this show, please follow, subscribe to any of our platforms we are on, such as Spotify, YouTube, or SoundCloud. If you really like us, follow us on social media at it_dammit on Twitter or X, whatever. And Facebook, it's still new to us. We'll post new episodes on there. We probably won't get creative on it because we're lazy with social media and we're trying to get off it, but we'll post new episodes when we can.
Yeah.
So please follow us on there. And please give us a comment. Tell us we suck or we're good. Or if you see me somewhere, just say, Michael, you did a good job, and I'm proud of you. Thanks, Dad. That's it.
Fantastic. And don't forget, if you need another 2 people at your parties this winter.
Yeah, just give us a ring. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I'm Mo, and the Capital Society always wins.
And I'm TJ, and thank the gods this is over.
Ta-da! See you, everybody. Let's have Bobby Mitchum play us out.